Here is my auto-harvesting crop farm in Minecraft Java. This is one of my first farms that I added to my survival world, as it's quite handy for farming crops. It can be used for carrots, wheat, turnips and potatoes. Also it's stackable. The only issue is you do need to replant all of the crops manually, but at least you don't have to collect them or harvest them. I'll start off with a preview of my existing farm and then go into the items and the build. Just go inside of the farm here and you can see how you just flick the switch and it harvests everything, goes into water streams and into the hoppers and into your chest outside. And you can stack it all the way up here and then add multiple crops depending on what you're growing at the time. So for the items, it's actually pretty low item usage, which is good for this one. So we'll need 2 chests, 1 hopper, 1 lever, around 64 of the crop that you want to grow. And then we'll need some trapdoors and redstone dust and 2 water buckets, which will create an infinite water source with. And then we just need a solid block, whichever one you want to grow this farm out of. So we want to start off with a 10 by 10 area. So I'll just mark it out on the ground so we know where we're building. You don't need to do this part, you can just put blocks down if you prefer. And then we'll start off with our solid block. So just put a solid block all around the top, well, the first 3 sides, all the way down, and then just leave a gap at the end, which is where we'll put the water stream. Now we'll dig a trench along here for the water. And then off the back, we just want to add some trapdoors. I think I was just counting the amount of blocks to make sure I got it correct. So we want these trapdoors facing the other way, so just walk along the back and face the trapdoors so that they fold forwards like that, and then place trapdoors all along the back, which is where we can then put our water. So you have to shift. We'll create an infinite water source here, just with 2 buckets. So you just put water on each end. And then the infinite water sources in the middle, so just grab it out of the middle. And then we just need to shift click behind each of these trapdoors. So just shift click, and then that will put water in there. You can test by just flicking the trapdoor up and down. So now we just go backwards and forwards and fill up all of these with water source. You can bring more buckets if you want to be a bit quicker. And that's all of them filled up. Now we can just cover this with a solid block. I don't know why I picked a pink block, but I thought it looked kind of cool. I think it's the cherry wood. Now we put redstone line along the top of that solid block. This is a good design because it doesn't use pistons. And you only need a little bit of redstone and then put a switch at the end. And then as you flick it, all the water will come out. And then it will shut all the trapdoors again. And that's the hard part of the farm done. We actually need another 2 water buckets, I think. One for the middle. So you just add a hole anywhere in the middle, kind of as long as there's 4 blocks from the water source, it shall keep it waterlogged. And later on we'll put a half slab on top of that so you don't keep losing crops into it. Also, if you don't put a half slab, the water streams actually get blocked and don't flow properly. So this is where we can put our crops. Find a slab and put a slab there. And just need 1 more water bucket for the collection system. And I think that actually goes 1 block over the other way so that the water stream can make it all the way to the end. And that goes all the way to the end of that, so that shall harvest all the crops. Then just put a chest down the end there. You'll actually need a double chest here, I'll put that a bit later. And then a hopper into the chest. Shift and place the hopper in. And you actually can't put a half slab here because it does actually block the harvesting. So I'll remove that later. And now we just put our crops down for testing. And another addition, so yeah, I'll remove this now, but another addition to this is actually a double chest, and then you have to put a backwards stair on the collection system. Otherwise, the carrots or crops will go over the top and you'll lose some. So you can see there that the carrots go over the hopper. So we do need an upside down stair, so then you can still open the chest. So I'll just grab a stair and then you just place it that way. But then to access the chest, we need to dig another bit of a hole and then put a double chest. So then you can access the chest just from over here. And just shift click the chest in. Then you won't lose any items. And that's the whole farm done. Test another couple of crops. And in they go. And that's it. That is the farm. Hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.